Hey everyone, Wolf Lord Rho here. So day 3 of our Traitor War is underway. The Word Bearers versus the Death Guard, and the Nightlords against the World Eaters. Angron and co enter the war. Oh boy. But before we get to those, we need the results from yesterday's contests. First of all, we saw the Emperor's Children taking on the Thousand Sons. And this one was a landslide. Magnus and the Thousand Sons absolutely obliterating Fulgrim and co. Now, I did think the Thousand Sons would be victorious, but I didn't expect it to be such a devastating win. Going by this poll, the Thousand Sons made short work of the Emperor's Children. But next up we had the Alpha Legion versus Perturabo and the Iron Warriors. And this one was a much closer run thing. On Instagram the poll was split straight down the middle, 50% each. And so it falls to the straw poll, which had the Iron Warriors coming out victorious with 52% of the vote. Man, this was a real close one. Now with those results out of the way, it's time to end out the first round. So on to the Death Guard versus the Word Bearers. Now this has undoubtedly been my pick of the matchups since the draw for the first round matches happened. Two of the biggest and most intact legions, and led by their Primarchs no less. This would be a battle to truly rival the Horus heresy of old. The Word Bearers, of course, led by the Urizen, Lorgar, the true architects of the Horus heresy, and not to mention the truth behind the Ecclesia. Now we know ultimately Lorgar attempted to take control of the traitor cause himself in betraying his brother Horus, but it was to no avail. And so it was, aside from a mere 5,000 word bearers, the Legion at large never participated in the Siege of Terror. So this could contribute largely to the fact that they still to this day number as one of the largest traitor legions. And since the heresy, Lorgar has been largely locked away within his temple in his chosen meditation. In his stead, the Legion has been governed by the Dark Council, and despite some most definite inner turmoil, the Legion at large has been spared the civil wars and degeneration of others, and so it is still held together as a Legion force. The structure of the Legion and companies is still all in place, albeit perhaps not as strictly as their days within the Imperium. Now, going up against the Death Guard is a big task for the Word Bearers, but they most certainly have the numbers and the force of arms to do so. Their worship of the Pantheon Undivided means they of course excel with demons, whether through summoning to their aid or gifting their bodies for possession. The Word Bearers would gladly use the powers of the Dark Gods, in whatever their cause may be. And it's their unbridled fervour and zeal in regards to the Pantheon, which would see them not easily taking any backward step. When the Word Bearers go to war, they do so with a religious zeal. However, when going to war against the Death Guard, that may not be the tactics you wish to employ. In a war of sheer grind and attrition, you're only going to make Mortarion smile. The Death Guard of all the traitor legions have remained solidly intact. While they may not have amassed the sheer sprawling numbers of Abaddon's Black Legion, the Death Guard are in all likelihood still larger than the Word Bearers. Mortarion's aim is to have each of his 7 companies at a strength of 70,000 marines, So unbelievably, the Death Guard are larger now than they have ever been. That said, the Death Guard were no different from their traitor kin in the aftermath of the heresy, and their Primarch Mortarion, as his brothers, turned his attentions to the God's great game, forsaking matters of the material realm for the most part, which has largely contributed to the Death Guard becoming scattered across countless war zones throughout the galaxy, as their various warlords sought to claim their own victories. But as seen in the current plague wars in Ultramar, should Mortarion call his legion together once more, they will come. Even his renegade son Typhus heeds the call of Mortarion, for prosecuting the wars of the Death Guard is prosecuting the wars of Grandfather Nurgle. And speaking of Nurgle, there is no doubt while the Wordbearers may worship the Pantheon and be granted their boons, Nurgle would be throwing his forces behind his Death Guard. When it comes to it, this would be a battle of devastating power. Two legions of old going straight up against each other. A true legion versus legion fight. Absolutely no doubt there would be tremendous casualties on both sides. But I have to give the advantage to the Death Guard here. The amount of punishment they can take is unheard of. The Wordbearers would see the Death Guard just keep coming. And the amount of firepower the Death Guard can bring to bear would just be obscene. I don't see how the Wordbearers could handle that, especially with the Death Guard most likely being the larger legion in this current era. The Wordbearers may have countless cultists to call upon, but against the plagues of the Death Guard, it's all kind of pointless. They just see them coming straight back at them as a horde of pox-walking zombies. Then what of the Primarchs? Well, Lorgar shouldn't be slept on quite so much anymore, that is true. His psychic power has been unleashed, and he is truly a force to be reckoned with. But I don't know if anyone truly sees him defeating Mortarion, because I simply can't. In much the same vein as their legions, Mortarion would simply just keep coming at Lorgar, and I don't see how Lorgar could keep him at bay forever. Mortarion has the edge in battle in this one too. I'll be interested to see how you guys vote here, but for me the Death Guard win this one hands down. Okay, so on to our final first round matchup, the Nightlords versus the World Eaters. Now the Nightlords had undoubtedly the most unlucky draw in being drawn first, meaning not only did they have to go up against the Black Legion of all the possibilities, but then see the winner of that contest have to run into the World Eaters. I thought we were heading for a Black Legion World Eaters collision course, that much is true. But you guys surprised me with the Nightlords winning a closely contested battle. The Midnight Clad, using their ambushing tactics, made a beeline straight for the War Master, and in taking him out, the structure of the Black Legion crumbled. However, going up against the World Eaters, these kind of tactics may not be quite so effective. The question you have to ask yourself, in coming through a battle against the Black Legion, could the Nightlords then conquer the World Eaters too? Well, they certainly wouldn't wish to engage the World Eaters directly, that much is true. They may be murderers and killers, but they are not fools. They would do everything they could to create ambush killing zones, amongst using every other devious tactic within their playbook. And these tactics would be successful, no doubt. The heedless World Eaters would rush straight into every trap laid. But would this be enough? The World Eaters are a force of unbridled rage. Here the tactics of cutting off the head just won't work. Firstly, that head just happens to be a demon elevated Primarch Angron. Good luck with that. And secondly, even if somehow they did manage to take him out, would the World Eaters in the heat of battle even notice their lord had fallen? I'm not sure they would. They become so encompassed by their rage that everything outside their lust for battle is gone. Even the most level-headed World Eater Khan has become a sheer force of nature. The Nightlords here have the mountain of all mountains to ascend. But it's true they have done it once before, in conquering the War Master and the Black Legion. If any Traitor Legion could surprise me, it is the Nightlords. Those prophecies of futures gives them a big advantage in almost any conflict. But this is the World Eaters here. A fresh World Eaters Legion. Where the Black Legion had the War Master, the World Eaters have a Primarch. And that Primarch is Angron. Do the Nightlords have anything within their arsenal that can truly stop this god of war? I'm not sure they could. And then if it's not enough, like I said, the World Eaters have Khan, whose very presence in battle summons hordes of Khorne demons. No, the World Eaters structure is pretty much no longer in place. No, they certainly wouldn't have the tactical advantage, but they would crash into the Nightlords like a tsunami, and I just don't see how the Nightlords could stop them. For me to stop a red tide like the World Eaters, you have to have a large force of numbers, and in coming through the Black Legion already, I just don't think the Nightlords have that. However, as always, that's just my opinion, and as you guys have already shown, you can disagree with me. So just who are you taking? The victorious Nightlords, having taken out Abaddon, or the fresh and raring to go World Eaters, led by their Primarch Angron? As always guys, make sure you vote, because every one counts. The links to both the polls will be in the description, and you can vote on the Wolf Lord Rho Instagram. So be sure to get your vote in quick, as tomorrow's the victors will be announced, and we move on to the next round. Huge thank you as always to my subscribers, your support truly means a lot to me, it really does. And if you're new, please consider subscribing to help the channel grow. And if you enjoyed this particular vid, then why not drop a like on it too. But with that said, I am off, and I'll see you all again tomorrow, as the Traitor War continues.